architecture through my eyes. Can be acceptable, can be non-acceptable, but actually it is architecture from my eye. I love the saying of Lee Corbusier. I'm a fan of him. This is what. There are certain legendary architects whom I'm not fan of, but I'll not name them. I believe in simple design, clean and straight lines. Very scared of getting an organic architecture. Very scared. I try to use the material very judiciously with my small wisdom. I try to maximize, the power of design being a biophilic. I try. I fail or pass, that's up to you. And I always believe in less is more. Kam mein hi zyada hai. Always, since I talk a lot about sustainability. I am the chairman of Arcacia Committee for Green and Sustainable Architecture, so I have to speak a lot. So we always talk about 3 R's, Then I thought, there is one more R which is missing. That is rethink, reuse, recycle, reduce. Rethink is something that we all architects need to understand. Simple process. We come up with a strong concept up to the best of my knowledge. Make the feasibility and planning, because I work for developers, I work for hoteliers, and then of course execution. I do not always in my foreign world that I want an architecture, I dream like this, and then I know who's going to execute it. So I am very concerned with that. SWOT analysis. This is one slide which actually all students show in this thing. I am also a student, that's why I've shown you. This is the real essence of my concept, I try to go green and make a sustainable architecture. I try to build local. Actually, frankly speaking, I've not succeeded. I try to reach to climatology with my limited understanding. Recycle and use, I try to follow this principle. Use, after this, last 7-8 years was actually a turning point in my career, where I've started understanding architecture. Before that, I was doing it, I was designing it, I was getting the money from client, I was getting good recognition. Actually maturing yourself towards architecture came in last 3-4, rather it started coming, and I think more years to come. Now I'll try to cite very few projects of mine, very fast, I'll be very fast, because I know it's very difficult to jellifying after this lavish lunch. This is one IT building where the client asked to design for 600 workstation. It was an American company who came to Jaipur. We follow all the principles of green building concept, because whenever you do a green building, and when the client specifically asks for a certification for it, what you have to do first? You have to create a problem, then solve it. How come? Because my clients say, no, I want very good glass walls. That has to be my building should look very urban. Then what I'll do, I'm going to search for a glass of St. Gobain which carries a U value and say, yes, IGBC says yes, I'm getting 2 points for it. So I also do that. I create a problem, then solve it. This was building of around 1.5 lakh square feet, which was housing around 600 workstation. It is in Mahindra SEZ. We have taken breakout zones on every floor, if you can see. This is certain, landscaping elements, which is peeping out through the workstation areas. I definitely followed. It was a huge land, around 6,000 square meter of land, with certain landscaping elements, usage of materials. I try to use local granite so that, I get the certificate of getting the local material. And I try to reduce the artificial light by 61%. And these were the breakout zones which I was talking about on every floor. This building, this is the phase 1. The green area which you are seeing is going to be phase 2. It's just going to the replica of this block. The few visuals of interiors, very minimalistic design, landscaping elements, indoor games area, leisure areas, the cafeterias on the roof, which was of course without the ceiling, wall ceiling. Every floors we celebrated in different color scheme. So this is all about my statistics which got me green certification. Now this was one of the project where I was fortunate enough, like Anu Mridul sir's client, The client, I say I want to create something different. It was a residential apartment, 12 floors high. So I thought, that since the land was 5,000 square meter, I want certain green areas on every floors. I very boldly spoke to my client that I need certain green terraces on all the floors. Can give what? I say I'm going to use FSI. Then he said, okay, I'm ready to use. So he allowed me the privilege to use the terraces, double height terraces on every floors. So we gave terraces, not very big. It was 2,000 square feet of terraces, double height terraces. And those terraces were peeping into each other, so that there was a visual link. Other than visual link, there were certain, elements which were there for the senior citizens on all the floors, for the kids on all the floors. This is the actual picture. We gave an infinity pool on the top, which gave a very good skyline. And almost this project was constructed some 4 years way back, or almost it's 90% occupied. So these were the terraces on all the alternate levels. And there was a courtyard in between, and unlike all the Indian contractor, very shabby, which I couldn't stop it, There was a waterproofing problem. This was basically the infinity pool, which I tried to create, This is the overall terraces. So he sacrificed all this area into FSI. Now this was another IT building which we completed in a record time of 16 months with interiors. A very box type straight line building. This project is bang opposite to Jaipur airport. The flat is costing some 10 crores, just bang opposite to Jaipur airport. And all the flats are duplex, attached with a 5-star hotel, 250 keys hotel. So which has been signed with Taj. And the language is very neoclassical, And for the first time, I have used the entire facade treatment with GRC. I just erected the structure and the entire facade was wrapped with GRC. This is the hotel part and that is the residential part. We're already done with the structure of the residential towers. Pool. This is the show flat in which the furniture was supplied by Gauri Khan. In my professional practice of last 15-20 years, I am very desperate for this project to land up. Hare Krishna Temple Cultural Complex in Jaipur, which is a branch of ISKCON. This is going to be second highest temple complex after Vrindavan. The height is going to be 75 meters, the shikhar. And I was given a lot of flexibility wherein the ISKCON guys, told me that it has to be a good eclecticism of modern and traditional architecture. And, this is what strike me. I don't know how to put it. We really want to use glass in the temple. And they took me all the way to their Bangalore property in Jayanagar, which was constructed, I think, some 10-15 years way back, where they have used glass, but not that judiciously. So it was not an urban project, This was the temple. This total height is almost 200 feet, or it's around 70 meters. In fact, I was given it was a design brief to me that you have to, do a blending of glass work and certain heritage elements. So we just created shikhar, wherein we took the staircase and a lift from the terrace level to the top shikhar level, because they used to go for certain Dhwajarohan ceremony which they charge for. So we want a very good size lift and a staircase. So I tried to use this entire well for light, for air circulation. And they were very clear that this entire temple floor is not going to be air conditioned, because they cannot actually judge the overall capacity or the appetite of that space, how much people they can account for. So this was the cross section where it has got 2 basements. Then there were on the ground floor there were kitchens, there were banquet halls, there were party lawns, party areas, museum. And then on the first floor, mezzanine floor, it was a Vedic museum. So they have got a whole lot of museum area. The mezzanine, this was the temple floor. And on the mezzanine, 3rd and 4th floor, there was seminars room and there were office area. And these 2 shikhars, which actually was cladded with the glass. And we are still, debating on that if this slant chamfer element can be used as a base for solar panels. But our solar panels people are saying that I'm not going to get efficiency. So still I am debating on that. These are certain cast in situ, jali works, which we have tried to make certain modules at the site, because stone was beyond the affordability. So we tried to do it in RCC. And then today I think I was discussing with Anu sir, that we were contemplating of doing certain fresco work on the facade, instead of doing it with certain stucco work, or we want to do that fresco work so that we can get the real different mudras of Krishna Bhagwan and a lot of ethnic values. We've got a Sompura consultant for this also. This is a run-of-mill residential project, where the initial project was perceived for a height of 32 meters, and one fine day, one CNS navigation instrument came with the airport. They said, now we're going to give 13 meters of height. So very challenging for me. I was supposed to, exploit this entire site, fulfilling the appetite of the developer. So we told them that we are going to make very low-rise, simple apartment. Developer, since he bought the land, has no reasons to say no to this design, because we achieved only 4 floors. In our case, architects like me, when the statistics drastically decreases from 32 meters to straight away to 13 meters with the client, it becomes very difficult with us. And the people like me work under a lot of constraints. So I always call myself as an architect who comes with creativity, but lots of constraints. I'm no hitch in admitting that. Unless if I'm doing an institutional project, Gaganji showed, he can celebrate if it is his own hotel, if it's my own institute, he can celebrate anything. But we work under a box type setback constraint areas, and it's become very difficult. And moreover, architects like me has to think for the masses, She can like something, she can like something different, he can like something different, because that is a selling in anticipation. That is a creativity in anticipation. It's $1 million question that it has to be 70%, 85% acceptable design. So it's a very challenging job, And if the project lands up good, I'm damn sure I can create stories. Again, that's a high-rise building which I have to get a green certification. Again, I'll do some mistakes, certain problem. I will create some problems, again solve it, and then say, I got 2 points for getting innovative material, I'll call myself a green architect. So this is a high-rise mixed use, 2-3 floors for the commercial. It's coming in the prime area of Jaipur city. We have not started yet this project. The excavation has started. Yes. This client hails from a small city, Ajmer. And this guy is a big time supplier of gang shock cutters. I think most of the marble player must be knowing him, Bhagwati Machinery Mart. He came with me with a land parcel of 10,000 square meter, and he didn't ask me the area. He brought me that atmosphere building in Kolkata, So I want something like that. He came with the twin towers. I want something like that. He said, my only goal is that, I should come up with an iconic building, and that building should be, one of the best in the country that should be taught. I say area, because I was almost a commercial guy, talks about area, exploiting a site. He says, sir, area no bar. I was very happy. First 2-3 floors, but at the same time his father says, my son is an immature guy, you just take care of commercials. Both the constraints. Son, free flowing. Father, conservative. Father was a baniya. So I thought, take the maximum benefit of ground coverage, give father a satisfaction, and upper floor, turn and twist 2 blocks, join them, and when I made some 10 facade solution for them, 10th was accepted, this one. He said, yes sir, this is what I was looking for. And I'm also looking for this, hopefully this get constructed. Project, very small project of around 30,000 square feet of area, where client has a small land, around 5 acres land in Salasar, Balaji. He said, I want to come up with a space that gives me a religious retreat, So therein he wanted to make a Yagyashala. So that was the essence. Because he don't want to make a party hall, don't want to make a, I say Swadhyay, don't want to make it Yagyashala. So I saw Yag means hot air, rises up, it's certain. So this is how it persuaded me to make this dome, So there are many a times it happens, your design language is being governed by the requirement of the client. Your functionality is being governed definitely by the requirement of the client. You arrive at a solution after speaking, after interacting with the client. If your clients are very focused, it will be easier for an architect like us, to achieve that design solution Otherwise, if the clients are not clear, it's very difficult for us, We'll end up, making a thing messed up. This is our first international project that we are doing in Congo. So it's a mixed use. And again, client was an Indian, but he say, I want something, lavish. And when it comes to royalty, I always think either Jaipur or I go to Prague or Rome. No in between, a design language which adheres to the word royalty. But this is my experience. This is architecture through my eyes. So again I thought, because design language is something when royalty comes, you have very small, solutions left with you. So again we try to make this on green and Greek architecture. At the same time you say, yes, most of the clients, they are Europeans, There's a lot European people lives in Congo. So he said, yes, it has to be European, it has to be green, because Europeans understand about green architecture. So we tried to meet this. Still it's in inception stage. Submission drawings are already been filed. So we'll be starting this project in a couple of months. Thank you. This is what is architecture from my eyes. Thank you very much.